way to truth for life, where we discuss things about life, most importantly about Jesus Christ. What is he doing in your life? What is he doing in my life? Let's discuss it. We might be going in different direction concerning what Christ is doing in our life. But today I want to be talking about my book, the one you are seeing behind me, Overcoming Energy Drainers. I will be talking about that throughout this week, probably the rest of this month, okay? We need to understand exactly the environment we are in, people we have contact with, people we touch, and things like that. That's what it's all about. And have you ever left a conversation feeling as if someone has quietly siphoned the strength from your soul? Your mind feels foggy, your spirit feels flat, your body feels heavier than it should be. It is not just tiredness. Tiredness is understandable. It's you felt like something has left you, like you are sick or something. It's something precious has been pulled. It's like something precious has been pulled out of you without your consent. Let me say this, you are not imagining it. The Bible calls it virtue, spiritual energy flowing out of a person. Luke tells us of a moment when Jesus was surrounded by a pressing crowd. Yet, he stopped abruptly and asked, "Who touched me?" Luke 8:45. The disciples were confused. Dozens had brushed against him in the chaos, but Jesus wasn't talking about casual contacts. He was talking about a specific touch that pulled power from him. I know that power has gone out of me. Virtue has left me. If even Jesus, God in the flesh, recognized the drain of power when certain people reach for him, should we be surprised when we feel it? No, because it happened and it can happen at any time. So we should not be surprised when we feel depleted. Okay, the unseen transfer, power transfer happens every day, often without our awareness. Okay, a customer lingered at a shop, leaves with a smile, and you are left inexplicably depleted. A co-worker's endless complaining leaves you mentally fogged for hours. A late night text conversation leaves you restless and what? Unsettled. Even a hug, a handshake, or sexual encounter can leave you strangely weakened, and your momentum in life subtly reversed. Some drains are intentional. Manipulators, spiritual parasites, and toxic personalities who feed on others to sustain themselves. Others are unintentional, people who mean no harm but have not learned to manage their own emptiness, and so they unconsciously pull from others. Left unrecognized, this encounter can erode your spiritual vitality, stall your purpose, and in extreme cases, prematurely end ministry or relationship, even life. So you see, when you are with somebody or some people that they are sucking you, if you quickly did not pay attention to that and you did not recognize your position, you don't recognize your situation, you do not recognize that you need to move away, you need to cut them off, that could lead to so many other things that will become life-threatening. So it's important we recognize that. The science meets the spirit. Psychologists call it social exhaustion or ego depleting. You understand? Ego depletion. The measurable decline in mental and emotional resources after intense interaction. Neuroscientists note that energy draining encounters active stress responses that take hours or days to reset. The Bible simply calls it to us to guide our hearts. Proverbs 4:23. The Bible says we should do what? Guide our hearts. is very vital. It's important. What flows from within us determine the course of our lives. Okay, what comes out of us, what is taken or what we release, determine the course of our life. Why this book? Why is this book written? This book is not just about spotting energy vampires or setting boundary. It's about staying plugged into the only source that never runs dry, God Himself. It is about learning to put to pour out without running out, to give without losing your soul, and to protect the life flow He has placed within you. In these pages, you would what? You would discover the biblical and scientific mechanics of energy transfer, how to discern between a healthy connection, great connection, and destructive drain. Practical and spiritual strategies for prevention and recovery and resilience. The surprising truth that sometimes the people who love you most can still drain you, with knowingly or otherwise. How Jesus Himself navigated constant demand without burning out. Okay, there's sometimes that even your children can burn you out. Your spouse can burn you out. It has to do with who you are with and who at that time, what is going on with you. I mean, as I explained from the beginning, sometimes it's just talking, it's just chatting. And while that is going on, while you are discussing, you find out that somehow energy has been sucked out of you in that discussion. So this book, my discussion concerning this book, Overcoming Energy Drainers, is to teach at the end of the day how to prevent it. One, how to remain constant in power to come out to refill yourself. So how to be able to do what? To be able to overpower whatever is sucking out of you. Because if your life is being sucked out of you for a long time, you become weak, and at the end of the day, it might lead to something more serious and dangerous. So it's important we pay attention to what to our environment and the people we come in contact with. Okay, it's an urgent call. We live in a draining world. Digital noise, constant availabilities, and emotionally demanding relationships are pulling out of us from every side. Things are being pulled out of us from every side. The enemy will love nothing more than to empty you until you have nothing left to offer. But God's plan is different. Those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. All right, Isaiah 40:31. My prayer is that you read this book, you will learn not only to protect the power within you, but to live in such a way that you are connected to God's strength, and His strength becomes unbreakable, that you will be able to say even in a crowd, even in crisis, even after pouring yourself out of any evil situation. All right, this book is your field guide to living full in a world that constantly tries to empty you. And we start where Jesus started, not with fear or loss, but with faith in the sources. You see, this book is it's not to make you be scared of people around you, or to be scared to connect, to be scared to associate. But this book will show you how to associate with people with resources, to associate with people with the abundance energy, to associate with people with way to prevent whatever is being dished out, whatever is setting to suck you out. How to be in an environment where you are in control of whatever is happening around you, and nobody suck you out, or you don't go at the end of the day feeling depleted, feeling very weak, out of a discussion, out of having a sex, or out of having a hug. So these are things that we'll be discussing in this book called Overcoming Energy energy drainers. Okay, all right. I have personally met one owner of business who could trace the decline of his shop to a single customer walking in. I have spoken to people who woke up with clarity, joy, and a plan, only to encounter a draining person and lose all momentum before lunchtime. Have that ever happened to you? That you wake up, bubbling, and you step out, probably about to enter your car, you see somebody, you shake hands and everything, and the next minute you start feeling weak, you start feeling drained, you start feeling tired. Has it ever happened to you? But because the thing is, when that happens, we don't normally think that, oh, it must be the hug or the shaking or the greeting. We don't think about it. But hey, this book will reveal those things to you and show you a way to prevent it and how to cover yourself. You will find out in my book, I say something that and I will say it again here from the beginning, and I will say it more and more as I continue. I cover myself with the blood of Jesus Christ. Before I shake any hands, before I hug anybody, or before I give money, I cover it with the blood of Jesus Christ. If that blood can't cover it, then I can't prevent it. Okay, so with the blood, I'm sure I'm covered. I'm sure I'm protected. Okay, now the strange thing is this: the other person often leaves feeling better, lighter, more at peace, sometimes rejoicing, just like the woman whose bleeding stopped. They walk away healed, but you are left struggling to stand. Imagine, she said to herself, if only I can touch his garment. She knew what was going to happen. But one thing she didn't know how she would leave Jesus Christ. But she left fulfilled, she left healed, she left strengthened, she left happy. For 12 years, she had been sick. For 12 years, she has been bleeding. But that day, that moment, that thing stopped. Somebody come to you crying and everything. You hug them and they smile and they're happy. And they say to you, oh, I'm feeling better. The question is this: what happened to you after? Jesus Christ turned and said, somebody touched me. Everybody was touching him. They were pushing him. They were doing all sorts. But this one was different. He said, power left me. He said, virtue left me. You see, that's the difference. Oh, that person was fine. That person became fine, became healed instantly. But Jesus Christ was depleted. Jesus Christ felt power left him, something gone out of him. Remember, he was going to deliver, to do deliverance somewhere, which means if he wasn't connected to God, if he wasn't the power source himself, imagine what will happen where they were expecting him, where they knew he was coming, where they were expecting to see if he could do miracle, where they were laughing that the girl was already dead, the child was already dead, that he can't do anything. Imagine if the power has left him at that time and he could not refill, he could not recharge. Imagine what will have happened. They will have laughed at him, and then he will have been confused because he had the power. You understand? That happens to us a lot. In this book, you find a lot. Let me not jump. Let's just continue. Let's continue, because the book is to help us to pay attention to situations around us. If it happened that way, that you left your house, then suddenly you felt that something is shifted. Let me give you an example before I even continue. I went for a business, which you will find, which is written in the book. I went for a business that they have been pursuing me. I was so busy; they have been pursuing me to do to come and I'm into civil engineering, and they were pursuing me to go. And I said, listen, I sent them other people to handle the job. They said no, they want me. The day I got there, the man just looked at me and said, listen, it's over. Why? I gave money to somebody on my way. My mind, when I was giving the money, my mind was telling me something is wrong. And that time I didn't cover with money. I was so excited and happy that very morning, and I just give the money out. By the time I got there, the person has changed. Then I didn't understand it. It was from that time that I realized exactly that's where the book came from. That's when I started observing, and as I see people that come for counseling, people that come to me, and people I'm talking with, and I started realizing they were having a similar issues. But I discovered because that happened again. But this time I came out of it because I realized, oh, this thing is about to happen again. What did I do? I connected back to God. I linked back to the source that brought the business, the source that brought the job. I connected back to it as I prayed at that particular moment, and I changed it back to what it was. So it can be changed if only you recognize, you quickly recognize, you have a spirit of discernment to realize what is going on around you. To realize that hug you gave is already affecting something, and that shake you had is already affecting something. That call that call of anger, of cry that you receive is already changing something in the realm of the spirit. Then you can pray quickly and change it again, because God, he did not leave us. He's with us at all time. So we need to be able to do what? To reconnect back. If it's disconnected, reconnect it back to God, and you will be surprised how things will turn around and work again the way they're supposed to work. Okay? And why Jesus Christ himself in Matthew 16:4 chose to walk away from the Pharisees and Sadducees, not because not everyone you meet should have access to you. Not every interaction should lead to exchange. You need to be careful. Sometimes you are in a discussion, in a conversation, and it's becoming an argument. Leave. Or you are in a discussion that is not going anywhere. Leave. And you are finding yourself weak at them, and because of respect or because of no, find a way, get out of that discussion before they drain you. We live in a world where you can't hide behind glass forever. You have to interact, you have to do business, to love, to serve, to build relationship, but you must learn the difference between blessing people and allowing your life to be what? Drained away. Hey, not every gift, every people that you help that need help. Not everybody that come to you for help that needs your help. Somebody else could help, but not you. They will be there with you to drain you. So be careful at everything you do at all time. Okay, be careful. Because there's the truth. You are not Jesus Christ. You cannot endlessly pour without being replenished. And if you don't guide what you carry, your purpose can be cut short, your momentum stolen, and your future delayed, all by one touch. So be careful. All right. I know this why, because I've lived it. I've experienced it. I know. I mean, it is well. 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 All right. The hug that emptied her. I'm going to talk about a lady here, an example. I first heard the story from a friend of mine, Clara. She's been working long hours in her small fashion boutique, balancing clients, supplies, and a family at home. And one Saturday afternoon, she decided to stop by the supermarket and on her way back from the shop just to pick up a few things. That is where it happened. As she turned into the cereal, as she heard her name, it was a voice she hadn't heard in over 15 years. She looked up and there was Naomi, an old classmate from secondary school. They had shared homeworks, whispered about boys, and laughed at the same jokes back in the days. Life had taken them in a different direction, and they hadn't seen each other since. But come this day, the moment Naomi saw Clara, she didn't wave or smile from a distance. She came straight over and wrapped her hand in on a long and tight hug. I mean, when you meet somebody that your friend a long time, the way you hug, the way you jump at them and everything, and that's what happened. The kind where your shoulders sink into the other person's, where your head beats, your heartbeat, what seems to match theirs, when everything seemed to be in sync with their own way of breathing and everything. And it seems like, oh, both of you suddenly synchronize. All right. They chatted briefly, how are you, and all that pleasantry. And then, after a few minutes, they parted way, both saying, we have to meet up properly soon. All right. They needed to meet properly soon. They need to see each other again. But as Clara walked towards the checkout, something strange happened. Her earlier energy drained away, replaced by heaviness. She couldn't explain it. By the time she paid for her groceries and got to her car, her arms felt heavier than the shopping bags she carried. She thought maybe she was just tired from the week. But when she got home, instead of cooking dinner like she planned, she collapsed into bed. The next morning, the fatigue was still there. Not just in her body, but in her mind. She couldn't focus on her work, couldn't find her usual motivation. It took her 2 full days to get back to herself. When she told me the story, Kara wasn't accusing Naomi or anything. In fact, she insisted Naomi was probably a wonderful person who walked away from that reunion feeling good, maybe even lighter. But Clara couldn't ignore the timing, the sudden drain after the hug. That is when I remember her. Not every touch is just a touch. Some will drain you. We tend to think of hug as purely comforting, but in reality, there can be silent transactions. They can be what? Silent transactions. They can transfer encouragement, peace, or joy, but they can also pass on heaviness, worry, or even spiritual weight. The point isn't to become suspicious of everyone, it's to become aware, because some drains don't come with warning signs. They come with a smile, a laugh, and arm wrapped around you. Daniel told me his story one evening over coffee. His voice was low, almost hesitant, as if he wasn't sure how to put his feeling into words. He said, I wasn't a virgin when I got married. He began, I've been with other women before I knew what intimacy felt like. The truth, the rush to connection, the usual tiredness afterward. But this, that's what he said, was different. He had married Grace just 6 months earlier, and she was everything he prayed for. Beautiful, kind, supportive. Their wedding had been joyful, their honeymoon sweet. There were no fights, no bitterness, no visible problems. Yet, after each time they were intimate, Daniel noticed something unsettling. It wasn't just tiredness, he explained. I felt like I've been sick, like a fever had passed through me in the night and left me hollow. My body felt heavy, my mind slow. I have woken up the next morning struggling to think straight. Even small tasks felt like climbing a hill. At first, he brushed it off. Maybe it was stress from adjusting to married and life, or workload at office, but the pattern became impossible to ignore. It was always the same, he said. We will be together at night, and by the next day, it was like my strength had been siphoned out of me. It's like my desk staring at my laptop screen, unable to focus. I started missing deadlines. My business began to stall. And Grace, she looked radiant. She always seems to have more energy after those nights. Daniel wasn't angry at his wife. He didn't believe she was intentionally draining him, but he could not deny that something was happening, something beyond the physical. I had intimacy before, he said slowly, but I have never felt this kind of emptiness afterward. It is like something spiritual is happening when we are together. She felt filed, and I feel she feels full. I feel depleted, and it is not just in my body; it is my spirit. I've started wondering if it is why. I mean, if this is wise to continue. Why I have been taking two step forward and then step back lately. Business was not going, communication with friends, things start happening that he could not explain. He had begun to pray for wisdom, asking God to show him whether this was just fatigue or deeper issue. He knew marriage was a covenant, but he was also learning that physical intimacy is an exchange of more than just bodies. It's an exchange of energy, peace, and sometimes purpose. I love my wife, he said finally, but I have learned that even in marriage, you have to guard your spirit, because if you keep giving without being replenished, you will have you wake up one day too empty to keep going, too empty to keep going. And that was the case. You see, this might sound to some people like a simple thing. There's a difference between being tired and being drained. Being tired is a common thing. I mean, you walk, you get tired. You exercise, you get tired. Which means, I mean, when you get into that sex thing, I mean, it's an exercise, so you could be tired. But when you get drained, the danger is this: when you get drained, it's your power that is living. It's your virtue that is living. It could affect your progress. It could affect everything concerning you. It could affect your momentum. It could affect your progress. It could affect your life. I mean, because you are open to it's not only making you tired physically, it's making you tired mentally. It's not just mentally, it's spiritually depleting you. So it's an issue that is well addressed in this book. You understand? It's an issue that is well addressed in this book. I won't go too far, but I will say to you, I'll be here tomorrow by the grace of God to continue with the book. And I hope you are blessed. Cover yourself with the blood of Jesus Christ at every point in time. And the Lord will be with you and protect you. Okay? So, as I was saying, overcoming energy drainers. It's available. It's available on publishing platform, Amazon, and every other one. If you check the Great British Bookshop, is there. So go and get a copy. You'll be glad. You'll be blessed. You will be so sure to tell me that it's a great book. So I recommend it for you. Go and get it. Get a copy. This December is coming. Get a copy for somebody. Okay, make it a gift for somebody as well, to learn about power draining and all that. Stay blessed. Have a wonderful day.